Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Max with BuzzTox here, and I am back with my initial review of House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 3. And once again, I sound like a broken record. This episode was awesome. It had everything I wanted. The one thing about this episode that was awesome is because they have so much money behind it, the experiences that we're seeing are how they were meant to be seen. When the king goes on a hunt, it's not Robert Baratheon just walking through the forest with a stick. It's actually an event. It's a celebration. And this was a big one because they were celebrating the second birthday for his son, Aegon Targaryen. I thought this episode, again, had a great balance of the political aspect of it, whereas the last episode was, who is Viserys going to marry? This episode is very much, who is Rhaenyra going to marry? And it really focuses on the king trying to hold everything together in the best way he can, as Corlys Velaryon and Daemon have been at war with the crab feeder and his pirates. But to me, really, the highlight of this episode was King Viserys. And I don't know what the overall opinion is of him as a character by the audience, but I love this character. He's the perfect embodiment of does a good person make a good king. We see Daemon have leadership qualities because Daemon is crazy. Daemon got results with the Gold Cloaks because he's crazy. Daemon won this war against the crab feeder because he's crazy. And we see the complete opposite with Viserys. This guy's got the kindest heart. He allows his daughter to marry who she wants to marry. He still wants her to be queen. He wants to be true to his word. His brother disobeys him and he sends him a letter and says he wishes he returns home safely with aid. This guy's not a king, he's a saint. And that's what I love about this character is that he sits the throne. But just like we saw in the first episode, the throne cuts him. He doesn't have the demeanor for it. Every decision he makes with his heart, it hurts him and his kingdom. I think that's the funniest part of the episode to me, is it started off, he was so happy. It was his son's second birthday, and then throughout the episode, he progressively got more and more sad. This poor guy's being beaten down. His daughter doesn't even talk to him. You have one guy who wants him to wed his daughter to his son. So overall for the king, it's just a mess. And I think we hear that with King Viserys a lot. He puts a lot of meaning in his dreams, in symbolism, where he talks about the dream he had of the son, that he wore Aegon's crown and he sat the throne. But now he's starting to think he's not so sure. And then he puts so much stock in this white-tailed stag. And I totally understood the character when he went to go kill the stag and he realized it wasn't this big white stag they were talking about. You could see his disappointment because immediately all of his beliefs were negated. The blessing that he was promising to himself wasn't fulfilled. And I think that was a main part of this episode, is what is the blessing? To King Viserys, is the blessing that Aegon is going to be king or that Rhaenyra is going to be queen? And by the end of the episode, he made a concrete decision. Not only did he tell Rhaenyra that she can pick the husband that she deems fit, he also said that he intends to keep his word and for her to still be queen. This is a very important plot point because we have Otto Hightower talking to his daughter Alicent Hightower to try and slowly convince the king that Aegon should be king. But the king still wants to stay true to his word and put a woman on the Iron Throne. This guy is a saint. And on top of that, when he spoke with one of the Lannister twins, he got so angry just because the Lannister inferred what everyone expected, that Rhaenyra would be denounced as queen and Aegon would be put as the heir to the Iron Throne. Just that angered the king. So he feels like he's losing his kingdom because people are judging his actions before he makes them. And I think that's a shock to him because he clearly still thinks Rhaenyra should be queen because he loved her mother and he loves Rhaenyra. So all in all, I was very impressed with the king. I think it was great symbolism, too, that he had this stag held down by everyone. And like a child, he just executed the stag on his hunt. Everything was easy. Everything was laid out for him. Just like how he got the throne. He was chosen. Whereas we see here, Rhaenyra had to execute this boar brutally. And I think that's really going to foreshadow her struggle to attain the crown as the first female ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. I think it also was great symbolism that Rhaenyra found the white stag, and she let it live. And I think you can interpret this any way you want. I kind of see it as Rhaenyra choosing her own path. She's not applying a meaning to the blessing. We had Otto Hightower and others believe that the stag represented Aegon's second name day. We had other people believe that the stag represented the Lannisters' marriage to Rhaenyra. But the reality is no one knows what the blessing truly is, and the blessing is subjective. And Rhaenyra just letting it go kind of let the blessing lie. But that's really what we got from Rhaenyra, is just pure anger, like she's cut out of her family because her best friend is now her stepmom. I thought this was a great scene next to the weirwood tree, where it's that struggle for power, where Rhaenyra wants the guy to keep playing music, where Alicent had to send him away as the queen, showing that there's conflicting powers, and it's already showing that power struggle between them. And while we see Rhaenyra slowly come into her own in getting set up to be queen, we see Alicent Hightower being spoken to by her father, wishing that her son Aegon should be king. So we're going to see that slow burn over time of these two characters separate because they both are contesting for the Iron Throne. And that's what's sad about it, and that's what we're going to see, is Alicent Hightower wanting her son to sit the throne is naturally going to come between Viserys and Rhaenyra. But lastly, there was the defeat of the crab feeder, and I think we got a lot of great information here. We got to see Lionel Valerion as an adult, and he's pretty awesome. He puts his uncle in check multiple times. He stands on his own 2 feet. He's making plans on how to properly attack them. Plus, he's a dragon rider, so they really did their best to show that he's a capable person, which I think was definitely on purpose, because there is talk for Rhaenyra marrying. One person suggested it should be Lionel Valerion. Some people think it should be her brother, and other people think it should be House Lannister. But the reality is Rhaenyra was given the choice to choose, and to see someone like Lionel be this capable, that's someone that Rhaenyra could fall for, and that's also someone that would strategically make sense. But in terms of the fight against the crab feeders, we learned that they are losing, or they're not doing as well as they had hoped. And because of that, the king sends help, because he's a saint. And Daemon gets angry, which the only way I can take it is he started the war and he wants to fulfill it himself. He doesn't want to be in his brother's shadow anymore. I think that's a big part of him. So they enacted the plan of him surrendering with the white flag, and they ended up just going to town. So at the end of this, the cinematic was amazing. I thought the fight was amazing. It was well choreographed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was awesome. And it ended with Daemon getting exactly what he wanted. He achieved his goal on his own without his brother. So I'm really excited to see where the next episode goes. I am thoroughly enjoying it so far. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Did you like this episode? What are your thoughts and opinions of it? And what are your theories? But until next time, I'll see you guys later.